Alright, we're here for another Captain A Battle Report. We are playing a couple games with some buddies of mine practicing for the Guardian Cup tournament. I'm playing Eldar. Some Wave Serpents, Riptides, Sky Ray, Fire Prism, lots of good stuff over there. I am supposed to go first. Here is the Dragon Masters. Dun, dun, dun. They're getting some more paint on them. They're coming alive. I have Legion of the Dam and Legion of the Dam deep striking, 2 scout squads outflanking. And that is his setup. He's going to roll to seize the initiative. Yes, on turn, on camera. It is a 4. Dragon Masters, turn 1. Coming at ya. Alright, turn 1 for the Dragon Masters. We moved up. I prescienced and have night vision on this group of guys right here. So I was able to put the orbital bombardment and barrage thunderfire cannon over in this area. Got 2 glances on the Wave Serpent, 2 glances, 2 pens, but I only stunned and blew off one of the guns on the Sky Ray. Took a bunch of Guardians out of there, and some Swooping Hawks were killed by the attack bikes. It's going to have to make some leadership tests, and we'll go on. Swooping Hawks are good, right? They look good. Both of them are good. So we're going on to Eldar, Eldar, turn 1. Alright, Eldar, turn 1. He moved up, killed off a good amount of bikes from here, from the one squad here, got 1 more wound here, bunch over there, leadership test over there. They are good. Jetseer and the Tau Commander joined the Riptide, and it's on to my turn 2.
My last thing.
Alright, I already passed it. Interesting turn. The Legion of the Dam mishapped and are back in reserves. Was able to glance out the Sky Ray. Took a bunch of shots into the Riptide and the Wave Serpent. Mostly into the Riptide, but he made most of his cover saves. I think he's got 1 or 2 wounds left though. I killed one of my own guys with a thunderfire cannon, but they held, and I rolled a 2 for my charge range to try and get into that fight. The Chapter Master daisy chained up with the Space Marine squad. So that was my turn 2. Scouts came in over there, and scouts came in and over there. So on to Eldar, turn 2. Alright, it's Eldar, turn 2. Eldar moved around, killed some scouts over there, shot over here, did a little bit of woundage, obliterated a bike squad with the fire dragons over there. That was pretty hilarious. Failing that charge made my lovely opponent's day. He was really excited. These guys came down and did a wound over there, but I saved it. The crew came in and shot over here, but didn't do anything. It's over to Space Marines, turn 3. Jet bikes came in and turbo bossed over there. So moving on. Alright, Space Marines turn 3. Had some good stuff happen here. Shot and assaulted the Swooping Ox and killed them. Killed off a bunch of the Kroot and they went to ground. Shot and killed a bunch of the Fire Dragons and they went to ground. Those guys are fine. Assaulted the Riptide and slap fight because he's got fortune in making all of his saves. Over here, shot and killed a Wave Serpent with the attack bikes. Did 2 whole points on that Wave Serpent, and shot and charged this Prism for nothing. Going on to Eldar turn 3. Eldar turn 3. Moved around. I completely whiffed. He shot over the Legion of Dan. Did 4 wounds, I rolled 4 ones, and then he finished off the squad. That was pretty funny. Killed off one of the attack bikes and did an extra wound. Moved some guys around. We had a slap fight over here with the Chapter Master and the Riptide, and I hit and ran out. Did a little more shooting, but on to my turn 4. Dragon Masters turn 4. Moved up, shot into that thing, whiffed, but charged it and got the last glance on it. Scouts moved into that crater. Shot and glanced the Wave Serpent, then charged into the Riptide and took off his last wound. Chapter Master took a wound in Overwatch. Centurions moved it up and shot a bunch of the crew. They fled. I assaulted. They held. Then they ran away and got away. There's one crew left. Going on to Taudar turn 4. Alright, we're at Eldar turn 4. He's moving out and spreading out to get towards these objective here, objective up there. And he was able to slap fight here in the middle. I whiffed a bunch of attacks on his Farseer. I hit and ran out. Crew still running away. Down to my turn 5. Dragon Master's turn 5. Scouts tried to run, didn't get very far. Centurions fired everything into the fire. The Fortune Fire Prism, who made every single one of his Jinx saves. It was glorious. These Dire Avengers took a wound and made their pitting check. Chapter Master shot and assault the Farseer and killed him. I was going to go for these guys here to make sure they didn't score or contest. And the Thunderfire Cannon killed them. So on to Taudar, turn 5, and potentially the last turn. Eldar 5, not as good as he'd hoped. Contesting that objective over there, but he was trying to kill those guys who were also going to be Linebreaker. Shot with the Fire Prism, trying to get a chance to be winning in a winning position, but missed his blast on those guys. And the game is continuing to turn 6. So on to Dragon Master, Space Marines, turn 6. Alright, we did turn 6 all together. I had some really fortunate luck. The Centurions shot, still didn't do anything to the Fire Prism, but they got a 10-inch charge range onto the Fire Prism and was able to glance it out, glance and wreck it out, and just wrecked it, and are now scoring that objective. Killed off the commander over there and are scoring that objective. He's got one crew that ran but is still on the table, and one lone Fire Dragon hiding to tell the tales of the Dragon Masters to his little children, how he's going to get revenge upon them sometime in the future. So, a great game, Andy. Appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Good practice game. I think I learned some good stuff, and I think Andy learned some good stuff too, so we'll apply it at the Guardian Cup. All right, welcome to another Tactics Talk from Captain A. Another battle report. Number 4. It was a good one. I was playing against my buddy Andy that I've known for over a decade now, playing board games and tabletop strategy games. Got him hooked into 40k. Hasn't looked back. He's running a new Eldar and Tau list with some really great models painted by another friend of ours who we got into the hobby. And really nice looking. A lot of great stuff in there. I think it's a solid list of his, so I was really interested to see how my list would fare against his. I've just designed my list with Tau and Eldar in mind mostly, because there's a lot of Tau and Eldar players at my store. Demons, I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. But anyway, that's the whole other thing. So it was a great practice for him. He was newer to the Eldar. He hasn't played a lot of games with them. And Eldar was my first army, and I still have a bunch of Eldar. But yeah, it was a great test out game. I chose to go first, trying to put a lot of hurt on some of his things early on. And it was interesting because at the first rounds, I felt he was doing pretty strong. I was able to take out the Skyway for the most part, which was good for me, and took out and moved up and was taking shots on things. He did a really good job of moving his buff Tau commander around to where he was needed, and it was interesting to see that all play out, because by the third turn, I had lost a lot of my bikes, way too much. The lesson I learned from that is that I'm way too aggressive and clumping together my bikes to try and get shots off when I don't need to be that aggressive, or I shouldn't be that aggressive, putting them that far forward, especially that clumped together when he's got things like fire prisms that can really do a number on those units. So even though I had lost a lot of bikes, I was still in a position to start whittling down his wave serpents. And there was a turn that Legion of the Damned came in and scouts came on the board and my attack bikes came up there, and he was panicking a little bit. So he maneuvered around to get shots off on lots of different things, and that opened up a lot of his back to me. And then when he didn't kill off enough of those things, it was pretty downhill from there, because I was able to pop his wave serpents, which popped out their contents, and then use the thunderfire cannons to take out all those troops. And I focused a lot on getting the extra heavy points and trying to kill any troops that I could get into contact with. One of his mistakes, and we talked about it later, was he put his swooping hawks on the table to turn one, right in range of my attack bikes that went up and killed a bunch of them. So they weren't as effectual as they should have been, and just how Eldar need to be really good at maneuvering their models and thinking ahead about what's going to happen if I move here. And like I learned from that, I just got to be more careful about model spacing of my bikes and not letting them get eat up like that. And for this game, I went with all las cannon and all missile launcher centurions, who have been pretty much fantastic every single game. Just done an amazing amount of damage, every game I played with them, and really, really pleased with their performance. They seem to be giving me an edge. I love the concept of the grav cannons, but I'm not sold on them because I feel that they need a vehicle to get them there. And I don't know how many times this past month I've popped 2 Land Raiders turn 1 that my opponent brung. And I do not want that to happen to me. That would just be so sad. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, which is longer range, maybe less volume of fire, but still really effective. They've been really solid. So by the end, it was bad for him. I was able to take out a lot of stuff. The Chapter Master just did a lot of damage. Killed the Riptide, killed the Farseer, killed his Tau Commander. Made me work for it, but it was a great game, good practice game for the both of us. Both learned some things, and play him anytime. He's a great guy, and I love playing with him. So, fun game. That's what we're here for. Thanks for watching another Captain A Battle Report.